This is college basketball on ESPN, and tonight the Eagles Warhawks in Monroe, Louisiana, on campus of the University of Louisiana at Monroe. This is Sun Belt Conference basketball, and what a matchup we have in store for you tonight. Both of these teams are coming off of a win as Georgia Southern is wrapping up a 3-game road trip. ULM concludes a 2-game homestand. Big game tonight for both of these teams. Welcome inside Fant Ewing Coliseum. Graham Doty joined by the Hall of Fame coach Mike Vining. And coach, taking a look at ULM, coming off a monster win, knocking off top-ranked Georgia State, and they look to build off that tonight.
They do. You know, they had lost 3 in a row. There'd been some close games. And then to play the number 1 team in the conference here and to come away with a big win, it was great. And Tayshawn Smith had another great game for him.
And on the other side, this is a Georgia Southern team. They go on the road, pick up a big win at Louisiana. They scored 103 points. Most points they've scored on the road in a conference game since 2005, and they look to build off that.
You know, and they lost that game at home and then go to Lafayette and win real big. But they're 4-2 on the road and only 2-2 at home, so they have really moving up in the conference standings right now.
Last time these two teams played each other on January 10th, this happened. The big corner 3 by Quan Jackson, a dramatic victory for the Eagles, and you know ULM wants some payback tonight.
You know they do. You know, but everybody was concerned about Tookie Brown because he had the ball. They figured he's the one that's going to take the shot. He got it over to Jackson, and he knocked it down for him.
Taking a look at some of the key players for each side coming into this contest tonight. Tookie Brown, who you just alluded to, 3-time first-team all-conference selection. He has been special, and he's coming off his best game of the season.
By far. And also, you know, they said earlier that if he's makes first-team all-conference this year, it'll be the first time in the history of the conference that someone has made first-team all 4 years, and he's on a pace to do it.
And on the ULM side, Tayshawn Smith, he was fantastic Wednesday night, and what a special senior season he is having.
You know, he did it in some different ways the other night. He penetrated a lot. He was 11 for 11 from the free throw line, and by taking it to the basket, he was able to get to the free throw line, and then he hit some big threes also.
Taking a look at how each of these two teams stack up with each other in this matchup tonight. Coach, when you see these numbers, what stands out to you?
Well, you know, it's a couple of things. The field goal percentage, you look 49.9%, and then the other night they were 68% from three-point, and tonight for the year they're only 32. But steals, you know, they're 2 ahead of ULM, and also with block shots. They get a lot of block shots. ULM has done well from the free throw line.
That 50% for Georgia Southern tops in the Sun Belt. They have shot 50% or better in 11 games this season. Here's a look around the Sun Belt. You look at Texas State, that's a surprise. Georgia State was preseason first in the Sun Belt coming into this year. How about UT Arlington, Coach? They were picked towards the bottom, and they're in a tie for first place.
They were. They've come away with some big wins this year. They've played well, and as evidence right here. So, you know, everybody's just battling right now for position and getting ready to go to the conference tournament.
Georgia Southern tied for second in the Sun Belt. ULM right behind them, tied for third. Big game tonight for both of these teams. West Kentucky up by 6 over the Rice Owls at the break, and we are now joined by a very special guest. It's Tyson Helton, the head football coach for West Kentucky. And Coach, what a debut season for you. 9 wins, Conference Coach of the Year, win a bowl game. How would you describe it?
Well, it was a good first year overall. I'm very blessed to be the head football coach here. Had a great team to work with, a great staff, phenomenal staff that was with me. It's been a great first year. Like I said, we took a big step, and now we got to go take another big step next year.
What's it mean to you to be named the Coach of the Year in your first season?
Well, it's a great honor. It's a great honor. You know, you don't think about those things while the season's going on. You just kind of do your job. And you know, I finally got to take a deep breath this week. I had a couple days off and kind of reminisce back on the season. And there was so many great things that happened, so many people that were a part of that 9-win season for us. And again, I'm just honored to be a part of that.
Let's talk about your bowl game against Western Michigan. Last second kick, 52-yard field goal. What was going through your mind in that situation?
Well, I tell you what, I couldn't have been more excited to put Corey Munson back out there to kick. All year we've been trying to develop him. He's had his ups and downs. I kept telling him all year, I said, hey, buddy, when it counts the most, you're going to come through for us. Just keep your head down, keep working hard. He's one of those guys that when he misses a kick, you know, he doesn't change. Well, he makes it or misses it.
Right.
And so to give him the opportunity to kick a 52-yarder under those circumstances was huge. And then when he knocks it right down the pipe, it was just awesome to see. What a way to finish the year. Great bowl victory, and I was really excited for the team.
So what's next for you and the Hilltoppers?
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll get back here late January. We'll get into spring training, spring practice. You know, we bring a lot of guys back. I think we got 17 starters coming back. Got an older group to work with. We got a couple holes we got to fill, a couple guys we got to identify in spring football. But really like our football team coming back. Every year's a new year, though. You can't just assume, hey, it's just going to happen for you. You got to go make it happen. And so our guys, they had a chip on their shoulder this year. We got to get that chip back again. You know, you got, if you want to be a championship football team, you got to find that chip to be able to go out there and make it happen.
That's Tyson Helton, the Conference USA Coach of the Year. It's a gorgeous Sunday afternoon in Oxford, Mississippi, and today the Ole Miss Rebels host the Texas A&M Aggies inside the Gillum Center on campus at Ole Miss. As we take a look around the SEC volleyball standings, Ole Miss in first place with a 6-0 record. Texas A&M right behind the Rebels with a 4-3 conference record. Hello and welcome inside the Gillum Center. Graham Doty, Brittany McLaughlin, happy to be with you today. And Brittany, we should have a good one as Ole Miss has a chance to make history. They have tied a school record, 14 wins in a row, trying to make it 15 today.
I think they've got a good shot. Texas A&M on the top of their game today with a 12-5 overall record. Ole Miss coming in 6-0 in the SEC. I'm really excited to see how these two teams match up.
Let's take a look at this win streak for Ole Miss. The Rebels started the season 0-3. Since then have won 14 matches in a row, and during the process knocked off number 22 Missouri on October the 9th. First victory for Ole Miss over a ranked opponent since 2010. Some of the key players today, first for the Texas A&M Aggies, it's the senior from Corpus Christi, Texas, Holland Hines. She has had a remarkable career for Texas A&M, and what a senior season she's having.
A super senior season. She is an incredible player, and I expect her to put up some big points, just like number 13 for the Ole Miss Rebels, Emily Straub. If you've watched her play, you'll see the same thing in Holland Hands. These two players are going to go at each other all afternoon, and I expect them both to put up big numbers.
And Straub is approaching history, just 42 kills away from the most in program history. A key player for Ole Miss this season is the freshman from St. Louis, Missouri, Anna Baird. She's coming off a team high 14 kills Friday night against Arkansas.
Anna Baird is a player that's super special because not that she doesn't have to try, I don't mean that at all, but it's effortless for her. 3.24 kills per set. 13 would be impressive too. Playing behind Emily Straub, she's a kid who doesn't have to go out and put up amazing numbers, but it has worked well for the Rebels that she has this season.
Third member of our crew with a look at our coaching matchup is Graham Doty. Graham?
Dooker Balcom enters his fourth season as the head coach at the Citadel. He spent a decade as the head coach at VMI, where it took him almost 4 full years to turn the program around. In his fourth season, VMI went 24-8 overall and beat Kentucky at Rupp Arena. The Citadel faithful are hoping that this is a magical season for their Bulldogs as well. After a hot start, the Citadel lost 5 games in a row and are eager to get back on the winning track. On the other side, Scott Padgett and the Sanford Bulldogs have just come off the road where they dropped their last 3 games. Padgett, who was in his 5th season as the head coach at Sanford, is happy to be back at the friendly confines of the Pete Hanna Center. Sanford won both games against the Citadel last year and have won 3 of the last 4 in the series. Both teams are in need of a victory. It's a big game for each team who are hungry for a win. Back to you guys.